Hello everyone. What really happened? Corporate Mafia, Victor Chin, and the 9.5 million allegation. In early 2026, a topic that had long been whispered about inside corporate and investment circles suddenly broke into the public eye. An international news agency reported that there were serious concerns about certain powerful individuals and alleged misuse of enforcement action in the business world. This was described in headline as the corporate mafia activities involving businessmen, corporate dispute, and enforcement bodies. This reporting did not suggest violence or street level crime. Instead, it raised disturbing questions about whether corporate power and influence were being exercised inappropriately at critical moments during company dispute and takeovers. The idea was simple but alarming. According to reports and discussion documented in media, a company would suddenly face complaints and investigation. Authorities, regulatory or enforcement would step in, account might be frozen, and directors would be called in for questioning. The business would weaken under this pressure. During this period of instability, control of the company could shift, sometimes through share transfers and restructuring. This pattern was widely discussed in the media and among business circles. Importantly, it has not been proven as a system in court. It is based on reports of repeated corporate dispute and claim made by involved parties. But the pattern itself became the center of national debate because it explained why some companies change hands under difficult circumstances. As Malaysian authorities responded to these reports, the spotlight fell on one businessman who had been linked to several corporate entities and transactions over the years. Victor Chin Poon Long. In March 2026, the Royal Malaysia Police confirmed that investigation involving Victor Chin were underway under the Anti-Money Laundering Act (AMLA). The Inspector General of Police stated that authorities were examining matters that could be actionable under AMLA provision and searches had been conducted at premises linked to him. Soon after, Victor Chin issued a statement saying that he was not part of my corporate mafia and described himself as a victim of this situation. Huh? He had said that enforcement actions, including account freeze, had affected not just him but also other associated with companies like NextG Berhad, MMAG Holdings, and NextG Bina Berhad, firms with which he had been affiliated. In a statement around 19 March, Chin apologized to several public officials whose name had been circulated in connection with the investigations, including a former Inspector General of Police and government ministers, saying that he did not want their reputations affected unfairly. At the same time, political figures publicly acknowledged that the matter was being investigated and urged further inquiry. For example, a senior political leader reiterated that although a formal royal commission of inquiry had not been established, investigations into the alleged corporate manipulation were ongoing and needed to follow up. Then, on 24th March 2026, Victor Chin released a news statement that grabbed headline across Malaysia. In that public document, Chin said that in October 2025, an unnamed member of parliament from the PKR party had asked him for 10 million in cash, allegedly on the promise that the MP could help resolve his legal and corporate issues by speaking to those involved in the so-called corporate mafia. Chin said he had arranged 9.5 million and handed it over but kept the remaining 500,000 after his problem were not resolved. He explicitly stated that none of the money was ever passed on to any group described as a corporate mafia. He then issued an ultimatum to the unnamed MP to return the 9.5 million before the end of March 2026. How many more days left? Or else he would publicly expose the person's identity. In the same statement, Chin also detailed alleged interaction with intermediaries he referred to as Mr. R, Mr. A, Mr. X, whom he claimed were involved in the attempts to influence board control and share transfer at Next Berhad. Again, Chin did not publicly identify the MP or the so-called corporate mafia actors by name. It is important to stress the following key factual points. These statements were issued by Victor Chin himself. The MP referred to in Chin's statement has not been named by authorities or confirmed publicly. There has been no court convictions or official confirmation that 9.5 million was used for bribery or that it reached any alleged corporate network. Investigations by police and the enforcement agencies are ongoing, and charges of formal outcomes have not been fully reported at this time. So, why did this story become so widely discussed? Because it involves several elements that resonate deeply with the public. Allegations of influence and public in corporate dispute, involvement of a well known businessman, public statements about million in cash, and political figure. Police investigation under AMLA and enforcement actions against a high profile individual. All of this combined turned a complex corporate and legal matter into a topic of national discussion, and why it spread rapidly across social media, news outlet, and public forum in Malaysia. Until all of questions are fully addressed, this story of Malaysia's corporate mafia will remain one that people continue to watch closely. So am I. Hope this is helpful. Bye bye. With salutes.